Hello, the wonderful people of YouTube. Retro Rewinder here, out in the eBay barn. I've got some orders to pack up today, and by some, I mean 20. It's been a very hectic week so far. It helps that I've listed almost 100 items in the last 2 days, so that's definitely boosting the eBay store up. But I wanted to pack up some items and actually talk to you guys a little bit because I realized that, I've started this new series with Brandon, and you guys probably have no idea who Brandon is. So I wanted to give a little backstory of who Brandon is, how I became his friend, and how I'm kind of working with him now. So yeah, let's get into packing some orders, and then we'll talk about who the hell Brandon is. Okay, let's see if we can fill up our little shipping area here with all the stuff we got to get. So I'm going to go over to the computer, find out what I need to pick, and then walk through the hazard. I don't keep my space as nice as some other people, obviously. So I need to get to the other side over there where my tubs are and get some of these orders. So before I do this last bit of shipping, I wanted to discuss kind of who Brandon is and why he came to the channel. Because if you don't follow me on Instagram, and I just posted a video for like the first time in a year, you're probably wondering who this random guy is in my videos. So let me talk a little bit about the history of me and Brandon here for a minute. So probably about 2 years ago now, I first met Brandon at an estate sale where in the photo of the estate sale, there were pictures of PlayStation 3s in the box. So when he walked up, I could kind of tell that he would probably be looking for the same stuff that I was looking for. We met just briefly and kind of discussed, that we were both looking for the PlayStations, but there were supposed to be multiple there, so we kind of agreed that he'd get one and I'd get one. So as soon as the estate sale started, we ran back to the back, and unfortunately these PlayStation 3s were like $300 or something crazy. So we ended up not getting those. But from that moment, I started to see Brandon more and more. I'd go to garage sales and he'd be there. I'd show up at Goodwill and he would be there. So basically, Brandon was just a local reseller that was my competition in the area. But after a while of continuously seeing Brandon, we became friends and started talking. Whenever we'd show up at Goodwill, we'd kind of talk about what we would find and just kind of discuss how business was going. And then basically we became better friends. And then at the end of garage sale season last year, I think it was in September, we both went to a town-wide garage sale in a town that's right next to us. We were texting and found out that, both of us were planning on being there. Probably about an hour, maybe 2 hours into garage selling, I started running into Brandon again. And basically what happened is we left a sale and we both went different ways, and then within like 2 sales we were back competing with each other. So that day we kind of decided, hey, why don't we just ride in the same car? We'll split what we find somehow, so we're not just rushing to get to each sale and competing with each other. So that's kind of how our business partnership began. It started at that town-wide garage sale, and then after that there were times that we're like, hey, there's this estate sale going on, are you planning on going? He'd be like, yes or no. So basically what we started doing is saying, okay, why don't we go together? Whatever we find, we'll come back, we'll kind of draft it into two piles. You'll take half, I'll take half. That way we're not rushing against each other in this sale, and one of us doesn't go home empty-handed. As long as we're finding some stuff, we'll split it. And then from that moment, the business is just kind of built upon each other. We started going garage selling with each other. We don't do, like, if he goes out garage selling and I'm not with him, he keeps 100% of what he finds. And if I go out garage selling, I keep 100% what I find. But yeah, that's kind of how our business, our partnership began. Now we go garage selling every Friday with each other. And then what we started doing is reaching out for private picks, because I would notice he would put stuff out on Facebook, or I would put stuff out on Facebook, letting people know that we were interested in buying stuff. And again, we just kind of combined that, because instead of competing with each other, we found it easier, and it's more fun to go garage selling with somebody. So it was just better to work together. So now we do private picks together, we do garage sales, and then anything that I do on my own, which is like most of the time we do thrift stores independently, we keep 100% of that stuff. We eventually did get a flea market booth together. I think we've had that for about 2 or 3 months now, and it does really well. The last 2 months we've done about $2,000 in their total, so we take home about $1,000 each in a check. And yeah, it's just been really well. So whenever we do these private picks, like this big NASCAR thing, we just get in on it together. It's half the investment. I make half the money I would have, but it's nice having somebody to talk about stuff with and have kind of a business relationship. And we're not 100% tied to each other. Like I said, he can go garage selling whenever he wants, because we only go on Fridays normally. Sometimes we go on Thursdays as well, but like on Saturdays, if he wants to go out garage selling, he'll keep 100% of what he finds. So I just kind of wanted to let you guys know kind of why Brandon has now started showing up in these videos. So just wanted to give you guys kind of a brief history of me and Brandon, and why this random bearded guy besides myself is now showing up in videos. So let's get back to shipping. I think I've got like 4 or 5 more things, which isn't too bad. And then we'll take this stuff to the post office.